We live.
I've been listening. They don't give out degrees here for nothing, you know.
Right, time to start drinking. Who's in the pens?
Em's sorry, can't. Going to the Oxford United.
A football match?
It's a date. See you later.
We live. We live. We dual casting. So if you see my eyes wander around, that's the reason. So I got YouTube going right here. I got TikTok going right here. And let's cook. So I got my pot already in the background. It's already heating up. I got some avocado oil up in there. So avocado oil is my, my thing of choice. So I got my garlic already peeled, onion already peeled too. So let's get the chopping. Just to let y'all know what all is going into the pot. You see, I got some good, all kind of bell peppers, orange, the yellow, the green, red already on the cutting board. I got some zucchini down here. I got some yellow squash as well. Got a few Roma tomatoes. I got some chayote squash. Some people might call that melitone. If you're from that area, you know what I'm talking about. Melitone, also known as chayote squash. Already in the fridge, I got some butternut squash that I cut up earlier. That'll go into the pot as well. And then also some baby bella mushrooms that I got. I wish I would have processed them already, but I forgot to process them before I went live. Baby, look like you're the only one watching me so far, so hey, baby. I can know we can get this going. Where's the mushrooms? Right. So just gonna continue to cut the onions because I want to get the onions in the pot in a little bit. So get those nice and cut up, chopped up, whatever you want to call it, diced. Some people may prefer to get those done, pick up the ones that's already done. Make it a little bit faster in preparation for your soup. I'm gonna cut one half of the onion small like you see I did, and then the other half of it, 'cause that's gonna start giving me my flavor. You had a nice little sizzle. Like I said, I had it on already. The other half I'm gonna cut a little bit bigger just so that I can have some body in the soup. I like to have some body in the soup. So I go ahead on and cut that 3 times long ways and then 2 times the other way. How that sound? Okay. Throw that in the pot also. Get that nice little sizzle going on. And like I said, I already got my garlic already peeled. So I'm gonna go ahead on and smash on it to get it, they say the more you have your garlic smashed up, the better, because that tends to release all of your flavor and everything. So let that release for a little while. Yeah, that is a pretty big clove of garlic. But hey, that's how it came today when I got it. So get this chopped up, because this will go into the pot also with the onion that you hear back there sizzling. So we're already gonna get some good smells going on. Already got me some water, about 32 ounces of water, because when I cook my soup, especially if I don't have any broth, some people may want to use some veggie broth or have some already made. I don't have that right now, so I tend to cook on a high temperature. And while I'm cooking on that high temperature, I reduce down. And this is a lengthy process. This is not one of those quick food kind of things. This is one of those, slow and steady kind of cookings. So I do, like I say, have that heat on high so I can get that broth, get that good reduction. But then I'll add more water and get that right. We'll go through it. You'll see, just stick around. I lost some pieces of garlic back there, but we're gonna continue. We're gonna keep on rolling. Got these nice bell peppers, so what I tend to do when I got these is I just cut that crown off, get that piece off, then poke out that stem. Then all of that's good to cut up. You don't have too much waste on that. Pull your seeds out right there. Some people may want to get those into the ground. Get you some peppers growing. Not a bad idea these days. So we might have a video coming up in the future where I'm actually doing that, because I do have a light little garden that I started in the back before. I haven't had that going on for a while, so that's just where we at. So get a nice rough cut on the peppers. just to give you an idea, because like I said, I get it reduced down. This will not be a crunchy soup. I'm gonna let it cook down and have the opportunity for these get a nice little wilty, even soggy, some people might consider it. But again, it's soup. You don't necessarily need it to be all crunchy. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these into the pot. Let those keep on going and continue to break this pepper down really nice and sliced up so I can get it chopped up. Nice rough chops. Again, because like I said, I want to have some body in here. So, got the red bell almost cut up and in the pot. And just keep on going. Same thing with the green bell. The green bells tend to have a lot more seeds in them because I guess those are the younger pepper. And what I've heard is that all peppers are the same. It's just different stages of the plant. So again, with this being the young stage, it has more seeds than the other stages. I'm always just guessing on that. I don't really know. Don't quote me on any of that. But it would definitely taste good. So get these pieces of the green bell into the pot. I'm actually probably going to crank up the heat a little bit over there and get some of that water poured in so that can start that little boil going.
First stop.
So because I wanted to heat up fast, I didn't pour too much water in, but I did turn it up. So meanwhile, still just cutting up my veggies. Little quick tutorial on how to make a quick and easy soup. Little rough cut, got the green peppers going. Go ahead on and do the same with this yellow. Cut out the top, pull out them seeds. This one I'm gonna cut out the bottom because I don't like the way that one look. We're not gonna use that yellow one. I didn't like the way it looked. So got that green. Rest of that green right into the pot. Let's see what this orange look like. All right, much better. Get them seeds out of there. Some of them, of course, jumped out of my hand, and then I go take this over the can and get rid of the stem. Stem off and come back with a little bit of seeds in it, but it is what it is. Just gonna chop that piece up, chop that in half again, and about 3 chops across there, in half again right there. Get another chop, another piece right there. Get that into the pot. Now, not time for the tomatoes yet. I tend to put those in last, and also I'm still holding on for these melitone, also known as chayote squash, simply because they don't take that long to cook. So, get a nice little rough chop on those. I'll cut these in half and then chop them from there. Got these about 1/2 inch thick. To the side. And yeah, once I get everything nice and chopped up, I'll go ahead on and move the camera closer to the pot so you can see the seasoning that I'm actually putting into it. Cause what soup without seasoning? I can't show you how to cook the broad strokes without showing you how to do the small stuff too. So, all right, get the ends off. Get this yellow squash into the pot. And as you can see, yes, that is a big pot. So I do have room for everything I still gotta put in there. Got the zucchini. Cut that about like I cut that yellow squash. You know, the zucchini will cook down a little bit softer than the yellow squash if you haven't used them before. But still a good nice little flavor. And half, then and half again. If you just tuned in, I'm cutting all of these vegetables up for a nice little soup. Down here in Houston, it's actually getting a little cold right now. It's cooling off a little bit. So get these zucchinis into the pot. Okay. Now, when you have these chayote squash, also known as melitone, you just get your regular old vegetable peeler, and that's what you're going to use to get that skin. Some people will actually do one or two things. Sometimes people will eat the skin, but sometimes people will also stuff the skin. So basically, scoop out the meat of melitone and make that into some type of stuffing, usually a seafood stuffing, New Orleans style, and stuff with some shrimp and whatnot, and get that melitone cut in half, get it peeled, get it hauled out, and then go ahead on and stuff it and get that good little flavor of the melitone, because that's a good flavor on this that I'm cutting right now. Melitone, also known as chayote squash, depending on who's cooking. So I got more veggies in the pot, so with the more veggies in the pot, I want to also add a little bit more water because I want to be able to cover all of my veggies so everything will cook well together. And yes, I am from New Orleans. Been vegan since 2017, December. Actually, November, the day after Thanksgiving in November. There's a story to that. It's on my page on YouTube. If you want to check that out. As far as why, ultimately it was 235 and got down to 170 just off of changing what I was eating. Imagine that. No exercise. Took about 4 months to get that much weight off of me, believe it or not. But again, that's a video on my YouTube if you want to check that out. So, as you can see, you got the little pit after I sliced open the chayote squash, also known as melitone. Let's see if camera one, okay, you can see that. And so that's what we're going to be trying to cut out right now. So the way I tend to do that, face down, cut it in half. And then it's kind of like when you cutting the core out of an apple or something like that. And there it is. So I'll do that with both of my chayote squash first. Then I get them cut up and into the pot. People often wonder, how did you go vegan and you from New Orleans? And yes, I cook all of those New Orleans dishes that a lot of people like to eat, including gumbo. Then I moved to Texas, and of course I learned how to fire up that grill. So even though I don't eat like that anymore, every once in a while for the kids, I go down and do that. Shout out to any of the kids that are watching. Fellas, if you happen upon it by some kind of way. So on that last melitone, getting that piece cut, and then we're gonna go ahead on and cut it up. And again, get that into the pot. Make some room on this cutting board, because it's getting a little crowded. We got the skin, plus we got all 4 of those cut up over there sitting. And what you're gonna notice is, in cooking soup, the hardest part is cutting up the vegetables. Because it's not tricky, you don't have any room to make anything like that in the soup that I'm making right now. So it's pretty straightforward. You're gonna cut up your vegetables, get you some water in there boiling, get your vegetables in there, cook them high so you could get them reduced and make it broth. Because basically, I'm not using any vegetable broth myself. I'm basically making the broth as I go. It's being made in the pot right now, essentially. So, almost done cutting. Get rid of the pit in the skin right quick. I wish you could smell what it smells like over here already, because just with the garlic and the onion in there and them few peppers, it's already starting to get a nice little smell to it. I'll be adding some more seasoning in a little while. But now I gotta get those melitone into the pot. Chayote squash, depending on who's cooking. There that is. I'm gonna cut some tomatoes to go in there also. Got 4 Roman tomatoes, well, 3 Roman tomatoes today. Get those sliced. They're actually quartered long way, which is how I'm putting these in there. I might even take them all the way down to 8s. Yeah, I gotta sneak tomatoes into stuff because the missus does not really like tomatoes. So if I'm able to get it cut down enough and it cooks down enough, then sometimes she may mistake it for a piece of red bell pepper and eat it. She's not allergic, so no, don't even think that way. She's not allergic, but she just doesn't like the way that they necessarily taste or even the texture, I guess. So, get that in there right quick. And then also I got this nice fat habanero pepper. You know that's going up in there. Pull out that stem. Cut this baby in half. And no, I'm not one of those, I'm cutting the seeds up with it and the seeds are going into the pot. If you know me, you know. The seeds are going into the pot too. Usually I do these peppers with some gloves on. Don't know why I didn't today. Just gotta make sure I don't put my hands in my eyes at all. Because if I wind up putting my hands in my eyes, oh boy, that's gonna be very unpleasant. But you know, that's one of those been there, done that kind of scenario, so I'm sharing it with you so you don't make that mistake. It's always good to have a pair of gloves on, some nice little nitrile or latex. I choose nitrile because you don't have to worry about that same allergy. Some people are allergic to latex, so just go with the nitrile so you reduce the possibility of somebody being allergic to your cooking gloves. That would be terrible. But as always, people should always let you know any allergies if they eat your food. All right, so that's it for those veggies. I do still have my baby bellies over here that I gotta get right before I put them in. So I'm gonna go stir the pot a couple of times, maybe add a little bit of water, maybe turn up the heat, but I'll be doing that right quick. After I rinse my hands off. Back on cam, but never went nowhere. Just ran my hands real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead on and get this pot stirred a couple times. And then, like I say, once it's time to add in the seasonings, I'm gonna bring the camera over so you can see what seasonings I'm working with. Just making sure I got a good cover right quick. Let's see. These mushrooms are pretty big, so it'll be a little bit easier to cut them. I usually just give a quick wipe to the mushrooms because you know mushrooms don't ever stop absorbing water, so you don't really want to absorb, you don't want to submerge them, because if you submerge the mushrooms, they're going to soak up all of the water that you submerge them into, which obviously would be good for marinating, but as far as for just cleaning them off, you don't want to do that. And then also, when they soak up all that water, they tend to get a little rubbery when you cook them. They'll release the water and then just kind of get rubbery. So I just wipe off the big dirt off the mushrooms, and then I'll get those nice rough chop right quick and get those into the pot as well. Again, for those just joining, I'm over here making a little vegan soup. It's getting a little cool in H-Town. We're getting into the 40s sometime this week, I remember seeing. That'll be later on into the week, but you know, seemed like once I lost that little weight, I get a little cold faster. So once it's in the 60s, it's a little chilly to me because the 60s in Houston, man, that's unusual, right? It is definitely unusual. So I don't mind getting a little soup going. And then, you know, other thing, when you make your nice little soup, that soup will last you a couple of days, if not 3. So nice big meal that you can make and get that going and give yourself off from cooking a couple of days in the week. So I got about 6 more to go after the one in my hand to get wiped off, and then we'll get ready to cut them. Like I say, once I cut them and I get them into the pot, then I'll go ahead on and move the camera so that you can see what I'm seasoning with, see what the pot look like already and all of that kind of stuff, you know. If you don't mind when you're tuning in, why don't you go and give a like to the page, like to the broadcast, because, you know, maybe that'll encourage somebody else that's on their vegan journey trying to figure this thing out. That'll give them an idea that maybe they ought to give us a check-in. Got a lot of videos on the page where I talk about different herbs or present information on different herbs. I don't do a whole lot of talking on most of the videos, but I do have a few. Some of them kind of entertaining, if I do say so myself. So yeah. So over here, I'm gonna just put them on the top, and then in half and then across 3 or 4 times, depending on the size of the mushroom that you have, and then continue going. Because again, you're gonna have like kind of a rustic vibe to the soup. Because like I said, cutting it in big chunks, have some body to it when consuming, and then also, you know, like I say, get that nice little rustic flavor to it too. 'Cause got all kinds of vegetables. Got the baby bellies I'm cutting up now. Got 3 different kinds of bell peppers because my yellow didn't look right, so didn't want to put that one in there. Get some of these off the cutting board, give myself a little bit more room. And hit me in the comments if you think this cutting board is annoying and I need to get one that's a little bit quieter. Because I know sometimes when I'm on the phone with people, they like, you know, oh, call me back when you stop using that cutting board because it sounds like, you know, it's kind of rough. So I'll kind of be a little gentle as I'm cutting, keeping y'all in mind because, you know, sometimes I get it. Sometimes it could be a little annoying sound, and I don't want to do that to y'all ears, but still got to be effective. So I got to get the job done. You know, worst case scenario, just put me on mute till I'm done with my cutting. I'm almost done. Give myself a little bit more room by pushing these off into the pot. And you can see the pot right now. You'll see that pot is very full. Because again, this is going to be a big soup. You see the size of the pot. It'll be a little bit more clear in just a while after I finish cutting up these last few mushrooms. After I cut up these last few mushrooms, then we're going to go at it. And I gotta say something about it again so I don't forget it. I also have to remember to get my butternut squash out of the refrigerator. Matter of fact, I might do that now. I cut that up. I did do video on it. I have not yet released the video because I need to edit it. It was kind of just part of this whole little process, you know. So if you happen to see that video when I put it up, you see that I cut it with this little device right here, a crinkle cutter. This is good when you want to cut your burro bananas into French fries, when you want to make your butternut squash fries like I did, because obviously when you get you a nice one, let me grab one of the butternut squash fries out of the freezer just so you can see what I'm talking about. It's on the tray freezing, but ain't that a nice long pretty French fry? Check that out. Nice long pretty French fry, butternut squash. So I'll do another video. I did the video where I cut it up. So I'll show you how I cut it up. And then I have not made the butternut squash fries yet. Those are in the freezer. I got the butternut squash fries in the freezer because I like to individually freeze those. Think about when you get a bag of fries from the grocery store, you just pull that whole thing out and plot out. That'll go into the air fryer. But these little cubes are gonna go right into the soup. So I got 5 more mushrooms left to cut. I'll get these cut up. And then as promised, I will move the camera so we get a better view of the pot and everything that's happening over there. I'm gonna tell you now, it's not gonna be pretty when I move the camera because I gotta move the light and all that kind of stuff too. So just FYI, just be patient with me because I do want to show you the pot and all that kind of stuff. So. As you can see in the background, that pot is almost overflowing. So, working on moving these cameras. Give me just a second, like I said. All right. Move the cameras first, and then we will move the lights. I'm not going yet. I'm getting these lights right. Okay, let's see what I need to do. Make some adjustments right here. Oh boy, that wasn't cool. Let's see. Glad y'all is joining me. Come on, check it in, check it in. Let's see, I might even move that to over here. That might be a little bit better view. Let's see what's happening. Ooh, this thing is... Yeah, my bad, trying to get y'all in here. There we go, all right. All right, let me make some adjustments on my light. Build it like when we fly, like I done heard folks say. Build it while we fly. So this is my first cooking live, so I'm sure y'all have figured that out. So I just gotta make sure I get out of this situated before I do it next time. And then I won't have to put all y'all through it. My bad. It's only a handful of people in here anyway, so I appreciate y'all hanging with me. And if you didn't hang, hopefully you come back once I get situated. All right. All right, there we go. We in view, we making it happen. All right, there we go. Look like we used all of that light juice. Okay. All right, YouTube, there we go, we back. TikTok, we never left, all right. We got that spoon, so see that pot is pretty full like I told you about. See that, look at that. But see what I'll do for y'all too, YouTube, every once in a while, because you're on a smaller tripod, I can do that for you. See that? Look at all those vegetables in there. Got the mushrooms on the top. Look at that, ain't that pretty? And then you back right there. Get that moved around in there. And then you definitely want to get your spoon all the way to the bottom and turn everything up. Turn it up. So everything that was on the bottom cooking is not getting a chance to see the top. And everything that was on the top, as a result, the bottom is moving, the top is going to the bottom. So got that steady going. Let me move this out of the way. And all right, I went ahead and put the AC on a little bit because I'm over here sweating. So check it out. Gotta go in the pantry now. First, excuse me. First, I'm gonna start with some crushed black pepper. And don't worry, this is the only machine I have that I'm using. Everything else is gonna be kind of hand shaking. But like I say, one of the benefits of being on that small tripod is you see right there. See, I just give it a nice little cover. And usually when I cook it's funny, my wife will want me to cook the same thing again sometimes, but it's almost impossible when I cook because every time I cook, it's kind of like I'm freestyle. So let me take down the stuff I know that's gonna go in there. I got sea salt, some cayenne pepper, got some dill weeds, some ground ginger. Also got some granulated onion, granulated garlic. Yes, I did put garlic, but I like garlic. Leave me alone. Don't judge me. Got some basil that's gonna wind up going up in there. What else? Some African bird pepper. Probably put a little bit of smoked sea salts. And yeah. And I'm a seasoned to taste kind of guy, you know, especially when I'm, like I say, I freestyle most of the time when I cook. So again, I got my fire on high right now because I'm really trying to get that good broth going. And right now, just from the time that you've been watching, it's already a little light brown, if you can see. So it'll darken up a little bit once I start adding the seasonings in and everything. And again, you see the consistency. I didn't put any roux or anything in there. It's just gonna be the vegetables themselves that are giving it the flavor. It's not gonna be a creamy type soup. So we're gonna add some sea salt across the top, generous, but you know, kind of take that based on your own preferences. All this is based on your preferences. When I started cooking, I just decided, hey, this is what I plan on cooking, and then as I taste it as I go, I know whether or not I'm gonna eat it. As long as I'm willing to eat it, that means it was a good soup. And usually if I'm willing to eat it, you're gonna be willing to eat it too. Just gotta make sure you season it right. Don't be afraid to use them seasonings. And I'm about to reach for my bag of bay leaves, if I can find them. Because I gotta have some bay leaf in my soup. I can't find it. Okay, I see it. It was on the higher shelf than I realized. Gotta get that organic bay leaf. For this size of pot, I got about 7 bay leaf I'm throwing up in the pot. I ain't gonna lie to you. About 7 pieces of bay leaf. And again, you gotta make sure you pushing everything down, let it move around and get a chance to settle down a little bit and release some of the essence into this pot. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of this smoked sea salt. Give a little smokiness to the pot. A little bit of dill weed. And any of my Sebians out there, you'll see that a lot of the seasonings that I'm using are Dr. Sebi recommended. I did add a few items that are not Sebi recommended. So from what I've put in so far, actually no, garlic would be the only thing that's not a Dr. Sebi recommended item. And I did put a little bit of garlic in there. But garlic, as long as you put it in quantities that you are kind of regulating, you're not putting every meal garlic, then, you know, add a little granulated onion, and I'm very generous with my granulated onion. You see I put a whole onion in here already too. Got some basil going in. Generous with my basil as well. And then last but not least, and actually not last, I'm probably gonna put some other things in here too after I start tasting on it. A little bit more granulated, a little bit of granulated garlic. So I'll put some more garlic in there. This is a big pot, gotta make sure it's flavored well. So I'm gonna let that continue to cook down, and you may be able to see the water level is below the this rivet right here. You can see about where my uh, spoon is touching, and so that's going to cook down quite significantly. And then that's when it'll be closer to being ready how I want it to be. Again, because you're on this smaller tripod, YouTube, I give you that little look straight into the pot. See that? Now, something I haven't added yet, but I'm about to add it just to give it a little bit more color, a little bit more body, also, of course, a little bit more flavor. I got this concentrated tomato paste. Think of it. So when I went into the refrigerator right now, I just seen a good old friend that crushed red pepper. So we're gonna add some crushed red pepper in here too. And yes, you know, if you ever seen me cook before, you know I like it hot. I got cayenne pepper, I got black pepper, I got African bird pepper. I even got some crushed red pepper in the pot. I will probably put something else in my bowl too, who knows. So get a nice generous squeeze, because again, this is only water as the base. It's not any kind of broth or anything like that. And I do keep my crushed red pepper in the refrigerator because when you refrigerate it, that kind of gives it a little bit more, it maintains and holds the potency longer. So put these back into the fridge. And then of course we're gonna give this a nice little stir. And look at that, YouTube, with that nice little, ooh, see that little splash? That's because I'm doing this left-handed. I'm a right-handed guy. So let me go ahead and put that back down, and then I'll get a proper stir with my right hand. Now, I continue to reduce in my pot. Now I was about to say I'm gonna turn it down, but I'm not ready to turn it down quite yet. Not quite ready to do that. Now I will grab a knife real quick and give my butternut squash a poke and see how soft it is. So see, that's kind of soft. That's almost ready. Of course, the melatonin also. Those could go for a little bit longer, but just continue to let that boil and reduce down. And once I'm satisfied with how well it's reduced down, then I'll go ahead on and turn down the heat so I can get it close to being ready for consumption. Now, of course, I do want to take my ladle and get a little dip. And I can taste my broth. Nice spice to it. Ooh, kind of hit me in the back of the throat. I do need to add a little bit more sea salt. Cross like that. And then let me see what I got in the fridge that I might still want to add to it. Let's see. Because like I say, anytime I cook, I'm just kind of freestyling. I think what I'm going to wind up adding is a little bit more ginger. And then I'm gonna finish it off with a little bit of toasted sesame oil. That's what I think I'm gonna do with this one. So, grab some more ground ginger. Shake that across the top. And we use flavors like ginger and smoked sesame oil and That give you kind of an Asian little flavor to it. And then you know something else I may do? Hang on, I'm not gonna tell the punchline unless I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna get a little bit more dill weed also. Cause remember I tasted it already, so I wanna adjust what I wanna feel like eating right now. And I'm gonna add a little bit more basil. Again, how your food tastes is based on how you want it to taste. Don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to grab those seasonings out of the bag that you don't use that much. Because that may be the one that'll set it off. You see it's rolling boil, nice rolling boil. We've been going at it for a good little while on the stove. Let's see. Give this another taste. Because I'm going to want to figure out if I need to add something. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add a little drip of agave in there. Now sometimes, some people may feel like I just messed up the soup, but I'm telling you, when you have as much spice as I have in there, and then I add that little ginger, I'm gonna finish it off with some good toasted sesame oil, that's gonna come together very, very nicely. So again, just stirring up the pot. And when you eat something like this, it's all healthy vegetables that are in here. When it's time to eat this, one is going to be tasty, flavorful stuff, and two, you can eat as much as you want. And it's really not going to put a whole lot of weight on it. It's soup. You got a nice bunch of vegetables in there, nothing creamy or thickening in there. It's not a gravy type base. Now, some people, I started to almost, but I was looking at the time, I almost made some dough to make like some tortillas, flatbread or something like that. But I decided to go live and do it like this, so this is what we're working with. But I actually do have a video up. It's actually a short that shows you how to make dough in 3 easy steps. So if you happen to want to see how to make some flatbread, I do have a video up with that, but I was thinking of actually making a video going all the way through it myself, just kind of how I'm doing with the soup here. Don't know if I'll do that as a live or if I'll just do it as a video, but either way, I'm gonna get that out to you so you can see what's happening. So, got a decent little crowd on TikTok. What's happening TikTok? Nobody. Lost a few people. Looked like I had some folk coming. I see a few people that then came and do some shout outs in the comments, so appreciate y'all stopping by. I am going to taste it on cam too, so that y'all can get my honest reaction of how this dish came out. But so far so good. It got me sweating because it is hot over this pot. Like I say, I do cook on high when I'm cooking a soup like this. You can see where my water level has gotten now. You see where I started, this line up here, and that's where I've gotten. So about at least a half an inch of water has cooked out of here, and plus you have the veggies in there, so the veggies adding to the water, the liquid, that's where that broth is going to be coming from. And if you were here at the beginning, you remember it was a real kind of light brown color. Now you see I done added a few different things in here, including a little bit of tomato paste, actually a nice squeeze of tomato paste. And got a reddish kind of color to it now. I literally can probably turn this off whenever I want to, but I like to just let those flavors have an opportunity to really get to know one another. They get in there and just continue to cook down, and then just wind up having that just nice, rich flavor to it. So, and actually, I did decide that I'm going to add something that some people would use for a little bit of thickening, a little bit more flavor. I think I'm going to add a little bit of chickpea flour. This late in the game though, when you're using chickpea flour, you definitely want to put it through some type of a strainer, some type of filter, because you know that gets kind of thick. So I'm gonna get a little small strainer that I have over here in this drawer, and I'm actually gonna use that to scoop my chickpea flour. Get it over the pot like so, and then I'll use my spoon to get a kind of little sifting process. I'm gonna lose some of it, I know. Oh, I'm losing a lot of it, but hey, build it while we fly. Build it while we fly. And the bad part is, my wife is probably laughing at me because we do own a sifter. So it's like, why wouldn't he just grab the sifter? But we making it work. We are making it work. We are making it work. So if I have a few lumps, then that'll be my fault, and I'll put those in my bowl. I don't mind. All right. So go ahead and mix in the chickpea flour that I just added in. And you add some of it is clumping up, so it's still gonna have a good flavor to it. And a good little body, the parts of it that didn't clump up. And so now it's around where I turn it down to either 2 or low, just to bring that temperature down. I'm gonna mix this up a little bit, and then I'll let you see into the bowl, into the pot, I mean. Yeah, look here. Come over there like that. You see all them good vegetables in there? The mushrooms coming together. We got a nice little broth that we've made by that real harsh boil. You see that? And TikTok, I won't forget about y'all. Get that camera out the way. And then see, look at that. You see that? All right. All right. So I'm gonna just let this continue to cook, but since I'm on a much lower temperature now, it's gonna kind of simmer around. And actually, let's get another scoop. And I did not forget about my toasted sesame oil. That's gonna come in at the last minute. Nice flavor to that already. And the other thing that you have to remember, right? When you're cooking your soup, don't be so caught up on what the broth tastes like when you taste it, right? Because everything that I put into the soup has its own flavor and it's gonna give its own body. Remember, I cut this rough cut, so I got some pretty nice big pieces, kind of a rustic feel to it. You can even see that on the spatula. Actually, let me pull out the spoon, the ladle, so you can get a better idea what's in there. You see that? You see what's in there? So that's what every bite is gonna add more flavor to it as well. You see that? Look at that. Nice big pieces of the different vegetables that are in here. So I think this is almost ready to go in the bowl. I think I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna turn it off. I think I do want to add a little bit of salt across the top. Some of y'all probably feel like it might be too much salt. I'm sorry, but I gotta put more salt. Pressure was good last time I got it checked out, so I'm okay with that. Make sure you're doing what's right for your situation, right? I tell everybody, do what works for you. Some of the stuff that I do, people may disagree with. People might not like how I do certain things, but I do what works for me. I let the numbers check, and so go ahead on and throw a little pour of toasted sesame oil across the top. A little extra right there. And then give a nice little stir. Get that all circulated around the bowl. The pot, I keep saying bowl. But look at that. You see that? Now, it's time for the bowl. I've been talking about bowls for so much. I'm gonna give you a nice little small bowl. Yeah, the big bowl, you didn't see the big bowl before. I'm gonna just start in a little small bowl. Cause I'm not gonna let y'all see me eat the whole bowl together. And actually, I'm probably gonna, like, when it's time to eat this, I'm probably actually gonna heat up some quinoa and pour this over some quinoa. Some people are looking for protein. A couple of variations you can do is either make you some flatbread out of chickpea or kamut or something like that has a little protein in it. But you can also serve this over quinoa. You can also, and if I'd have thought about it, I'd have did it. My bad, y'all. Could have put some walnuts in here. Walnuts is always something good to go in soup. You got that good crunch to it. Add some body to it. But let's see. I'm gonna go ahead on and scoop this into my bowl. Like so. And you see all of that heat coming out that bowl. Look at that bowl. Ain't that pretty? Look at that. So I'm gonna do this for both of y'all at the same time. Let's see. YouTube, if you got me. TikTok, you got me too. Let's see. First things first, gotta catch that broth. And you see you have that nice tomatoey base in there. The chickpea flour going in at the last minute like that did leave a few little chunks, but when you taste that and get everything going together, it actually comes out pretty good. So that's a nice flavor. So now I'm gonna get a piece. Get a piece right there with a nice piece of mushroom in there. See, check that out. Yeah. Mushroom cooked up perfectly. And it offers that little chew to it. So people are like, don't you miss meat? No. I tend to eat mushrooms in just about every cooked meal. Different types of mushrooms. You got lion's mane mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, lobster mushrooms. Oh man, there's so many different types of mushrooms. And they all have different flavors, different textures. You can do so many different things with them. Enoki mushrooms, different mushrooms you can make taste like fish, make them taste like chicken. These are pieces like melechon or chayote squash. Now, some people say that gives you like a texture like a potato almost. So if you like that potato texture, but you don't want that starch, that's when that's good for you, the chayote squash. And if you go on my channel, right? Either one, TikTok, I got them over there too. If you go on my channel and scroll all the way to the bottom, I did all of the foods from the Dr. Sebi list and just listed out the health benefits. So if you want to see the video with the health benefits of the chayote squash, go look on my channel. It's there. Scroll to the bottom and you'll see it. Because it's health benefits to everything that's in this bowl. You eat your medicine instead of taking pharmaceuticals. You eat your medicine. Yes, I am still going, so TikTok is checking on me. Unable to verify. Hold up, let me do this again. It's me, baby, it's me. There we go. So we still rolling. And then we got a piece of yellow squash. Is that no? The yellow bell went in the trash. Yellow squash. Now yellow squash has a little bit of body to it also. The yellow squash and the mushrooms will give you your body. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Wife is on the couch. I know she's ready to eat some of this delicious soup. She's been in here smelling it all good and stuff like that. Probably watching on either YouTube or TikTok. So hey baby, how you doing? I'm about to get dinner plated, get it in the bowl for us. If it's your first time coming through, please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'll definitely get back to you because I hope this was helpful. Got some vegan cooking, got some food inspiration that went down the wrong way. Got your electric plug, living that vegan life, showing you a little cooking demonstration. And like I say, like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, and then go back to the page. Go to the other videos. If you hear from YouTube, thank you. I got a TikTok channel as well. TikTok, go on to the profile, and I got a link that'll take you over to my YouTube channel. So trying to work them together. So that's all I got for you. I hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Should I go in a different meal you want to see prepared? Stir fry. One of my new favorites is doing some roasted veggies because those come out really well. So yeah, let me know in the comments if it's something specific. If you look in the videos and you see something that you want to see me cook, drop it in there and let me know. And I'll be making a live. I can do another live. Lives will probably happen on the weekends or during the week late after 6 o'clock type stuff. So let me know what's the best time for you. Hopefully it'll work with the best time for me. And we'll see you again. So that's all I got. Thank y'all for joining me. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's do this next time. Peace. I'm out of here.